Barry Gibb did not enter the world surrounded by luxury or certainty. His story began in a modest home where every coin mattered, and where hope often depended on how far a family could stretch what little they had. Born on September 1st, 1946, Barry arrived without privilege, but he was wrapped in something far more powerful: love and determination. His father, Hugh, worked tirelessly as a drummer and laborer, often returning home exhausted with little to show but his effort. His mother, Barbara, carried warmth in her spirit, creating comfort even when life felt harsh. From the very beginning, Barry's life demanded resilience. A childhood accident left scars that stayed with him, reminding him early that life could be painful, unpredictable, and shaping. Yet even in hardship, his parents taught him that family could become a shelter strong enough to withstand the storms of life. Early shadows and the search for stability. Though love surrounded him, Barry's childhood was not without fear and uncertainty. The Gibb family moved frequently, always searching for a steadier foundation. From Chapel House to St. Catherine's Drive, then on to Snell Road in Manchester, their lives were marked by constant change. They were not without a roof, but they rarely felt settled. In the middle of that instability, Barry found something steady: sound. His father's drums echoed through every home, and music became the one constant that never left. Barry began humming melodies almost instinctively, joined by his younger brothers, Robin and Maurice. Around kitchen tables and in small rooms, they formed harmonies that felt like comfort, as though music could hold them together when the world outside felt uncertain. Those early moments planted the roots of what would one day become the Bee Gees, a family bonded not just by blood, but by song. The first steps toward a dream. By the time Barry was only 11 years old, he was already standing on small stages with his brothers. They called themselves the Rattlesnakes, performing songs by Buddy Holly and the Everly Brothers. They weren't chasing fame in those days. They were trying to help keep their household afloat. Music was not yet glamour. It was survival. There were setbacks even then, like the night Barry's guitar split apart mid-performance. But disappointment never stopped them. Those early years taught Barry that persistence mattered more than perfection. Music was becoming both a lifeline and a legacy, showing him that even in struggle, creativity could open doors. Leaving home and finding a new world in Australia. In August 1958, the Gibb family boarded the Fair Sea and left England behind, migrating to Australia with little more than hope packed into suitcases. There was no grand welcome waiting for them, only heat, dust, and the unfamiliar streets of Redcliffe. The boys sang wherever they could: local gatherings, car races, anywhere people would listen. Music became their way of belonging in a new land. By the time Barry was 15, life forced a difficult decision: school or survival. He chose music because helping his family mattered more than exams. While other boys focused on classrooms, Barry filled notebooks with lyrics and melodies, writing his future into existence one song at a time. Recognition that could not be ignored. Barry's determination began to pay off in the mid-1960s. Slowly, people started noticing that he was not only a performer, but a songwriter with rare talent. Awards followed, small signs that something bigger was coming. Then, in 1967, London called. Producer Robert Stigwood recognized the Bee Gees as something special, and suddenly the brothers were no longer just surviving, they were rising. Songs like New York Mining Disaster 1941 climbed charts around the world, and Massachusetts carried emotion that felt timeless. Fame arrived quickly, but it came with pressure, exhaustion, and strain. Barry learned that success could lift you up, but it could also test the bonds closest to you. Family tensions and the strength of reconciliation. Behind the applause, the brothers faced challenges that many families do: only under brighter lights. Creative differences and comparisons created tension. Barry explored solo work at times, feeling the weight of leadership and expectation. Yet no matter how far they drifted, family always pulled them back. Those difficult years shaped some of their most introspective music, songs born from loneliness, reflection, and healing. Barry learned that the relationships that define you can also challenge you, and that reconciliation often creates deeper strength than never breaking at all. Reinvention and the Miami breakthrough. By 1974, the Bee Gees were ready for a transformation, and Miami became the place where everything changed. Working with producer Arif Mardin, Barry discovered the falsetto voice that would become legendary. It was not a gimmick. It was a rebirth. Songs like Jive Talkin' and Nights on Broadway opened a new chapter, but nothing compared to what came next. Saturday Night Fever turned the Bee Gees into global icons. The soundtrack sold tens of millions of copies, filling dance floors and living rooms across the world. Barry's voice became the sound of an era, but for him, it was always about connection, about what music could make people feel. A songwriting gift that touched the world. Barry's legacy extended far beyond the Bee Gees. He wrote songs for countless artists, creating classics for Barbra Streisand, Dionne Warwick, and Kenny Rogers with Dolly Parton. His creativity seemed endless, but he remained grounded, often avoiding unnecessary attention outside of music. Even when public taste shifted and backlash emerged, Barry continued to write and create. His falsetto was more than a signature sound. It was a storytelling tool, carrying emotion, empathy, and history in every note. Loss, heartbreak, and carrying on Barry's life, like his music, was marked by profound emotion, including deep personal loss. In 1988, his youngest brother Andy passed away, leaving a grief that never truly disappeared. In 1992, his father Hugh died, the man who had been the foundation of their family's resilience. Then came another devastating blow in 2003, when Maurice died suddenly. The chemistry that defined the Bee Gees was shaken forever. Each loss reshaped Barry's life, reminding him that survival is not always about triumph, but about continuing even when parts of your heart are missing. Love is his anchor, through every storm. Through fame, temptation, grief, and exhaustion, Barry found stability in love. He married Linda Gray in 1970, and together they built a home rooted in loyalty and care. Linda became his grounding force, especially during life's most difficult seasons. She reminded him that meaning was not found in applause, but in family. Barry's earlier brief marriage also taught him lessons about balance and responsibility, preparing him for a life where both career and home demanded devotion. A quiet sanctuary and a life of reflection. Miami became more than a place of success. It became Barry's sanctuary. His home near Biscayne Bay held guitars, memories, and decades of work. Platinum records lined the walls, but what mattered most was peace. Barry also gave back quietly, supporting causes like diabetes research in Andy's honor, disaster relief, and animal welfare. He never sought recognition for generosity. His philanthropy was born from conscience, shaped by a life that understood struggle. Survival as a lifelong craft. Barry's journey has always been about endurance. He faced health challenges, arthritis, canceled tours, and the heavy shadow of grief. Yet he continued to write, record, and perform. Music became therapy, a ritual that helped him process life's weight. Quiet mornings, shoreline walks, and the comfort of melody became ways of preserving not just his career, but his spirit. The legacy of the Bee Gees lives on today. Barry Gibb stands as the last living voice of the harmony that once belonged to four brothers. Andy's velvet tone, Maurice's grounding presence, Robin's ethereal sound, and Barry's fire together created something timeless. When songs like Stayin Alive or How Deep Is Your Love play, listeners hear more than pop history. They hear decades of survival, family devotion, and resilience. The Bee Gees' music carries echoes of kitchen table harmonies, childhood hardship, and brotherhood, forged through every storm. The last leaf and the enduring witness. Barry once called himself the last leaf on the tree, not as a sorrowful statement, but as a testimony. Leaves do not boast. They simply bear witness to seasons, storms, and roots. Barry continues to create, honoring not only music but the family and trials that shaped it. Every melody carries history, devotion, and endurance. Closing reflection on a life beyond fame. Barry Gibb's story is not only about chart-topping hits or global fame. It is about turning scars into songs, loss into lessons, and hardship into harmony. From childhood struggle to worldwide stages, from grief to quiet reflection, Barry has carried the weight of his life with humility and grace. His journey reminds us that the greatest legacy is not fortune or applause, but love, loyalty, resilience, and the songs that continue to connect hearts long after the spotlight fades.